Yo, what's up, y'all? Yeah, y'all ain't surprised, are you? Well, I told you guys that I have a very imaginative imagination, and so, when I think of something, I don't go, meh, maybe I should wait until I'm done with this series. No, I go, yeah, this sounds interesting. Let me start on it right now. And that's exactly what I do. So you can't really be mad at me for not making another part to something else I should have been making other parts to. For sorry about all the creaking, I had to grab my phone. Anyways, yo, welcome to this new series. It's your boy Ninja, aka Izuku, and I'm back here again. Well, not back, but I'm here again to drop another new series. Yes, another new one. If you read the title, or even if you didn't, you can see who's on the screen. This should be up for about, well, until now. Well, until I'm done explaining the intro. Now, this is something I came up with not even 5 minutes ago. Literally, well, maybe about 5 minutes ago. But not more than 10 minutes. I know it hasn't been 10 minutes yet. Because as soon as I came up with this idea, I found these pictures, went to the restroom, and came back. So it was like 5 minutes at most. 6 at best. Anyways, this series will be a betrayed series. This is Betrayed Gilgamesh Naruto. Yes, I'm finally giving a series a title before I make it. This series was legitimately thought of not even a few, well, I just said it was like 5-6 minutes ago, and by now more than that. But yeah, you see, the thing is, I was bored. I was laying in my bed. A video of Gilgamesh came up. I was over here watching it, right? And I was like, okay, Gilgamesh, he a fire character. I went, scrolled over, saw Naruto name. I said, bet, say less, I'm gonna do it. That's exactly how this idea came up. Yeah, I saw a betrayed Naruto texting story. I didn't get to see who made it because as soon as I saw it, I was like, yep, I know what I'm making. But yeah, I don't even know what their video was about, so don't worry, I'm not finna copy somebody's video. I didn't even watch it. I legitimately saw Naruto, like all I saw was the name Naruto after watching the Gilgamesh video. And I was like, bet, I'm about to make a betrayed Naruto series. Now, well, banished. This one is gonna be banished. Banished Naruto. Okay? He's gonna get banished by the Leaf Village. I'm gonna put betrayed, banished, and betrayed Naruto. Well, banished and betrayed Gilgamesh Naruto. Yeah. Yeah, that sounded like a great title. A long ass title, but it's gonna be great. Now, damn, I'm 3 minutes in. I've been bullshitting. Alright, I'm gonna get into the story. Alright. Alright, I'm good. Okay. We start this story, well, a few weeks after Naruto's banishment. Don't worry, you will get into the banishment after this segment. But hear me out. Naruto will be in... I legitimately... One second, bro. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this was just called the Whirlpool Village. Yeah, give me a second. Like where the Uzumaki clan originally was at. Yeah, I'm finna search that up real quick, and I'm gonna be right back. 1 second. Okay, so I'm seeing Uzushio Gakure, or the Land of Whirlpools. So yeah, I was right. Now, continuing my story. My bad. I had to go make sure. Now, Naruto would be in the land of the whirlpools, well, the remnants of it, as he would have heard that this is where his clan originated from. He would have gotten this information from, well, Jiraiya. You see, Jiraiya was still in good favors of Naruto. He even gave him a map to go there. Jiraiya himself couldn't read it because it could only be read by those who had Uzumaki chakra. Well, yeah, like who had the Uzumaki blood. My bad, not chakra, blood. So he would have bit his finger, write blood on it, and would have ran out of the village, heading for his village. Why? Because Naruto was about to get executed. And in his stead, well, for setting Naruto free, Jiraiya was killed. But let's not get into that. Let's continue where we were just at. Naruto would be looking through the remnants of this village, as he'd find something that was long since hidden, as it'd be an X mark on the map. He'd go there and lift up this big old boulder. You see, Naruto had just graduated from the academy and had just beaten Gaara. Yes, this is after the Chunin exams. After beating Gaara, Naruto was seen as this big bad guy because he, quote unquote, summoned the Nine Tails. Even though it was a toad, you know. And so they graduate at age 12 to 13, if I remember correctly. So we're just going to say 13, all right? So he would have lifted this boulder as he would look and see this door like this trap door leading down, and so he'd enter, but then it'd seal itself closed. He'd try to open it, but to no avail, no matter how hard he tried. And so instead of going back, he'd lock in and start going down. You see, this Naruto was already taught the Rasengan, but not just the Rasengan. Sorry about that. He also has his chakra unsealed by Jiraiya, who like the Nine Tails isn't messing with his chakra anymore. And Naruto would be walking. No, I'm gonna say because I'm gonna need them to still have it. So I'm gonna say they took the Nine Tails from Naruto and put it in Sasuke. I'm gonna just say because why not? And I'm gonna say the Uchihas are still in the like no Uchiha is dead. Yeah. So all of the Uchihas are, like they're chilling. Nothing had went wrong in the village at all. Nothing. Well, besides, Obito's situation, all of that's still the same. But, the Uchiha massacre never happened. They're all still alive. And they ripped the Nine Tails out of Naruto, put it in Sasuke. And to keep Sasuke alive, they put a seal on him. And they sacrificed someone using the Reaper Death Seal to pull it from Naruto into Sasuke. And Naruto barely survived. So yeah, even though he was able to lift that boulder, it took all he had. And since he couldn't open the trapdoor, he just walked aimlessly down this long-ass stairwell. And when he'd make it to the bottom, Naruto would pass out unconscious as he'd start healing. But it wasn't the Nine Tails. He would have almost died getting there anyways. And the people assumed he was going to die regardless. They still executed Jiraiya because he technically let go of someone who could have given away secrets of the village and all this other intel to the enemy, even though Naruto had no such intel. And Tsunade, who knows, well, she wasn't, I'm going to say Tsunade wasn't in the village because the third Hokage didn't die. Yeah, so he still, he didn't have to sacrifice himself against Orochimaru. Yeah, it just never happened. I'm gonna say a random nin who was there that also knows it, who was taught it by old man Hiruzen, got into the barrier and used it on Orochimaru and still took his arms. Yeah, so the guy would have died instead of Hiruzen. Hiruzen would still be alive. Tsunade would have heard the news that Hiruzen had executed Jiraiya, and she vowed to never go back to Leaf Village anyways because she didn't care for it. she would wonder what happened to Naruto because she was getting updates from Jiraiya on what's going on with their nephew. But now that he's dead, she would vow that she'd take revenge on the Leaf Village because of this. That was not it. And Naruto, who would have almost died once he get to the, like, he would have died momentarily, but he'd fall in front of this statue that was looked very human like. It'd be this picture right here. He would see this as he'd come to the next day. He'd stand up and see that he's fully healed. He feels as if he was full of food. His chakra was through the roof. It's as if he has unlimited chakra now. He doesn't know how or why, but all of the healing energy that was in this room feels as if it had went into him. He would walk up to this statue-like thing as it would read Gilgamesh, the King of Heroes. As he'd place his hand on the sword, the red part of it, the red and black part of it, looking at it, as he'd say this thing is quite interesting. And he'd grab the hilt as he had been searching this village and all he had been seeing is seals and all this other stuff. But he didn't want to learn jutsu. He came for something more powerful. That's what Jiraiya said would be down here. Something that no Uzumaki up to now could wield besides the creator of the Uzumaki clan, Gilgamesh. And he lies before him. My video, my alternate universe, okay? Relax. Now, he would grab the hilt as he'd feel all of this information flood into his head. Naruto would start to smirk as he'd say, so this is what made you the most powerful. Okay. He'd lift the blade out of the ground as a golden portal would appear behind him. He would be confused at first, but more memories would have been still flowing into him as he'd place the sword into there, as he'd say, you are one hell of a guy. So, I'm assuming since you were a deity, I guess, half god, something like that. Now that I've inherited your power as a human, I'm no longer human because of this green energy, I'm assuming. As he would look at himself, and then he'd look at his reflection on the golden statue. He would see that his eyes were now red, and his spiky hair that was up is no longer spiky. It is more down, and he looks more like Gilgamesh. He wouldn't have the red markings on his body, but he would feel stronger. And Gilgamesh's body would then slowly disintegrate into smoke that would circle around Naruto until it would vanish. And Naruto, his voice would grow deeper. His eyes would gain a slit to them as he would feel this overwhelming power and assume that now that Gilgamesh has fused into him, he now has the body of a demigod. And he'd smirk and start laughing. But for some reason, it would come out exactly like Gilgamesh's laugh, as he'd say that he's never wanted to laugh like this. But, hey, having the laugh of a villain wouldn't quite be too wrong for his situation, as he's definitely getting revenge. He no longer cares for the Leaf Village. He no longer wants to be Hokage. He wants revenge for what they did to Jiraiya, what they did to him, how they betrayed his mom and dad's last dying wishes, all because of some elders. He thought him and Hiruzen were way closer than that. He would have accepted if Hiruzen would have done something like, we can strip away his ninja type status. We can make him a Genin again. Make him go back through the academy or something like that. But no, straight to banishment. and execution. Okay. Naruto would now gain these red markings all over his body. As he would look at them, I'm pretty sure Gilgamesh's aren't like tattoos, but Naruto, like the markings Gilgamesh has on his body, I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna say they aren't. I'm not too sure, but Naruto's will be tattoos. He would have these tattoos, as he'd say, "Well, I guess I'll go pay the Leaf Village a visit." Now, let's go back to how it all started, how it came down to this. Well, I basically explained it a bit, and I'm gonna explain when the banishment was made public. You see, after Naruto beat Gaara, and he was cool with Gaara after, Sasuke would help Naruto up and ask him how he got so strong. He would say that he had a teacher that taught him a lot, and that wasn't the only thing he had. And Naruto still has the jutsu he has. Like he went I'm gonna come back to this. Yeah, so Naruto would say he learned the Rasengan and all of that from Jiraiya. And he also by this point learned the Rasen Shuriken. That's what I meant by he learned more than just the Rasengan. He created the Rasen Shuriken. He also got Sage Mode earlier, but he would cut his connection with the Toads. Be forced to by Hiruzen, so he no longer is a Toad Sage. 1 second. And now we see Naruto and Sasuke. This is before his Toad summoning termination was, done. Naruto would be taken to a hospital. Taken to a hospital to where he would be laid on the bed, but then immediately thrown out of a window. He would land on his feet, as he'd say that he's still injured. What the hell? But that's when the Anbu who had threw him would tell him to get to the Hokage's office. Naruto would be healed by the Nine Tails, who would feel bad for Naruto because, in his words, it seemed you've been betrayed as well. Naruto wouldn't believe this from the Nine Tails. He knew the Nine Tails just wanted his body, and why would he listen to this thing? That's what Jiraiya told him. Never listen to the Nine Tails, because all it'll do is try and take over your body. Kurama would then shrug, as he'd say that he tried to warn him and that he should have ran when he told him this. He would get to the Hokage office and instantly be placed in this wooden shackle-like thing. Like in the one movie where Naruto was sent to the prison. He would be stripped of his ninja status as they take off his headband. Naruto, thinking this is some type of joke, would ask them what the hell is going on, and they would tell Naruto that he has no right to question them, as they are the Ninja Council, or the Leaf Ninja Council. The Hidden Leaf Village's council. There it goes. As Hiruzen would say that he's sorry, but he can't do nothing about this, and he had to do this. He apologizes, and he wished this could have ended any other way, but you shouldn't have released the Nine Tails. But Naruto would say that he didn't release the Nine Tails, because if he did, they would have still seen the Nine Tails. And plus, he'd be dead if he released the Nine Tails. What do you mean? Naruto would be pleading his case, but they wouldn't listen. Old man Hiruzen wouldn't even care, as he'd say he knew he should have killed you the day that Minato and Kushina died. This way, they could have lived their own legacy their legacy could have still lived on without having a stain on it like you. Naruto, hearing these words, would break as he'd yell as the Nine Tails chakra would flare, and he would go into four-tailed state immediately and bomb the room as the council members were sent flying. They didn't die because he shot the tailed beast bomb at the floor. They would all be slammed out as the Anbu would surround Naruto, as 5 tails, and then 6 tails would come out. As he'd start yelling, as he'd summon this giant tailed beast bomb. As he'd look at Old Man Hiruzen, and he'd fire it towards him. But that's when Minato's old squad, these would be like, they'd be old by now. Well, not like real old, but these guys who knew how to use the Flying Raijin just barely, and they could only use it with all of them there. They would surround the like, they'd get in front of Old Man Hiruzen, and they'd activate the Flying Raijin to send away the Spirit Bomb. I said Spirit Bomb. The Spirit Bomb sized tailed beast bomb. As it go like, it appear outside the village into a mountain where a kunai would be at. As it explode, and Naruto would start to lose his form from the lack of chakra, and since the Nine Tails is still sealed, and Naruto wasn't planning on opening the seal, he was just mad at that moment. A tail would fade as he would go back to 5, then 4. As he'd still be there, as he'd stand up and go back to 3 tails, and he'd look at them as he'd get into a stance ready to fight. But that's when Sakura and Sasuke would come out, and Naruto would freeze, and that's when Jiraiya would show up and put a seal on Naruto's forehead. Naruto would be placed under arrest for attacking the council members and the Hokage. The people who used the Flying Raijin all died because they barely activated the technique fast enough, but they still were hit by, like, they were still in the radius. So when it first made contact with the kunai, it eviscerated them, but the jutsu went through and it still sent away the tailed beast bomb. But the people who knew it, the last people who knew the Flying Raijin, died that day. Naruto did not, well, of course he didn't inherit it. They weren't going to teach him. They didn't like him anyways. But they died hating on Naruto. Naruto had no reason or want, attachment, nothing for this village anymore. All he had for this village was resentment. And he was taken out of his jail, put on this stage where they had him bound, and they would name off his crimes: summoning the Nine Tails, learning Sage Jutsu and Sage Mode before getting the Hokage's permission. Naruto would yell, "What the hell is that crime?" But he'd get thrown, like, he'd have a brick thrown in his face by Sakura. This would be none other than Sakura. As she'd yell at him for attacking her mother and father, and Naruto would glare at her with his eyes going red, as the ground beneath her would explode, as she'd go flying backwards, as Naruto would get further drained of his chakra, as every time he uses any bit of chakra, it gets sucked out of him, and he's already running low on chakra. And that's when they'd say that they keep naming his crimes: almost committing a murder of the council member, attacking the council members, raising his voice at the council members, yelling even louder than that at the council members, killing off important shinobi, almost killing the Hokage, yelling at the Hokage, informally speaking to the Hokage. They would keep naming off these bullshit ass crimes. And the people would start yelling at Naruto, besides the Uchiha, who were just quiet. They didn't say a thing, and Mikoto felt bad for Naruto. But she couldn't deny that he did attack the Hokage and the council members. The Uchiha probably could have helped if he didn't lose control there. They could have taken him under their wing, but they can't no more. And that's when they'd hear that Sasuke would be inheriting the Nine Tails from Naruto. Naruto would yell, "That's some bullshit." And he'd look at Sasuke and tell them, and he'd go, "Tell them this is some bullshit. Come on, Sasuke, you know this is wrong." And Sasuke would just look at him sadly, and he would nod, saying that this isn't right. But Naruto would be knocked unconscious, and so would Sasuke, as they both be taken away, and then they return about an hour later with a Naruto it seems like he's dead on the ground. As Sasuke would now have the seal of the Nine Tails, and the old guy that took out the Nine Tails and put it into Sasuke was dead next to Naruto. And the only reason Naruto was still alive is because he wanted revenge. His anger towards the Leaf Village is the only thing that kept him alive. People were laughing at him. This included Kiba. Well, not Shikamaru or the Nara clan, but some other ninjas, some Hyugas, all of these people were laughing at Naruto. Neji would scoff seeing this, as he'd say, "What type of messed up destiny is this? I'm glad I gave up that destiny shit, because this isn't the destiny he deserved." He would keep looking at Naruto, as he'd see Naruto's arm twitch, as the remnants of the Nine Tails chakra would flow through him and start to heal him. It would be barely noticeable, as Neji was the only one looking hard enough to notice it. And then it would fade, as the last remnants of the Nine Tails chakra in Naruto would fade, as the wound on his stomach from losing the Nine Tails would vanish, as well as the previous seal that was there. And Naruto's seal that was on his chakra would also fade. And that's when Naruto would be placed in a cell where they were gonna make sure that even if he somehow survived, he would be locked away for the rest of his life. And if he didn't, then they'd just throw his body out for the wolves or something, or feed him to the Inuzuka clan's dogs. They didn't really care what would happen to Naruto's body afterwards. But that's when Jiraiya would come. He'd heal Naruto with something that he had gotten from Tsunade. And when Naruto would cough and wake up, as he was in a comatose-like state, he would look around and ask what's going on, as he'd feel as if he's missing a huge part of his body. But Jiraiya would say, "There's no time. You have to go now." He would leave a clone in Naruto's place, and he'd send Naruto away. As he'd reclose the door, and that's when the people would come. They'd see Jiraiya standing next to Naruto's gate, as the clone of Naruto that Jiraiya made would be laying there. But you see, Jiraiya made a mistake in his plan. Hiruzen was watching over him, as he'd yell to capture Jiraiya and capture Naruto alive or dead. Naruto would keep running with Jiraiya behind him, but Jiraiya would spin around, and Kakashi, he didn't have anything against Naruto. Actually, Kakashi wasn't even in the village. Him, Guy Sensei, and Kurenai were all out of the village at the time. I'm gonna also say Anko, because I fuck with Anko. Yeah, all of them were out of the village at this time, as they were all looking for Orochimaru with no leads to his whereabouts at all. But they decided to push forward to look for him anyways. And so that's when they'd arrive, they'd see Jiraiya on trial for freeing Naruto Uzumaki, and would be killed immediately. And before Kakashi or any of them could intervene, Jiraiya would drop his last book to Kakashi, as his head would be severed, and it would fall off of the stage right to Kakashi, as he'd catch both the book and Jiraiya's head, and his eyes would widen as he'd look up at Jiraiya's body. Why the fuck did I stutter right there? My fault. He'd look up at Jiraiya's body, as he'd feel this overwhelming anger. As he'd glare at Hiruzen, he would feel this overwhelming pressure, as he'd ask what the hell is going on. As Hiruzen would explain that he let a traitor go free, and he explained to him what happened. as Kakashi would take off his headband and he'd throw it on the ground saying he's resigned from this day. Kurenai would also remove her headband and say that she cannot stay in this village. Asuma, seeing that Kurenai is leaving, but he didn't care for Naruto. He cared for, Kurenai. He would try to say he's leaving, but since he's Hiruzen's son, they weren't gonna trust him. That's when Konohamaru would come out, but he couldn't leave because still a child, and he would hold them back if ninjas started chasing him. He knew this, and he would stay quiet. 1 second. So yeah, like I was saying, sorry about that. I had to go. I had to do something, but yeah, like I was saying. Anyways, so like I was saying, Konohamaru wouldn't do anything because he can't. He's still too young and would hold them back if he tried to go with them. And Kakashi, being a Jonin of the high level Jonin, would quit immediately. That's when Guy also quit, saying that he's not leaving just because his rival is leaving, but because Naruto was a hard-working child, and if they believe that Naruto being here is such a threat that they had to rip the Nine Tails out of him and almost kill him, and then kill Jiraiya for helping him, they're too sick for this. And Lee would come up agreeing with Guy Sensei as he would take off his headband and throw it. Neji would walk up with two guns. All the other those who would take off their headband. That's when Itachi would walk up with Shisui as they both went. Itachi then stopped being a ninja. He occasionally went and did stuff for the Hokage. He would resign immediately, as well as Shisui, who would remove his headband as he'd lay it down. He wouldn't throw it disrespectfully. He would lay it on the ground, kneeling, and then he would stand back up, saying that he's not staying and they can keep, he doesn't want to stay. The rest of the Uchiha would all resign, as they would take Sasuke and say that since they gave their clan the Nine Tails, they have no reason to try and take it back, and if they do think they can take it from them, then they can try. But they both know how this war will end this time. There's no Hashirama to save them this time. As they would all be shocked, as all of these, like Neji is from the Hyuga, and Hinata would have also quit from the Hyuga. Kurenai would have quit. Like all of these big names are quitting, and Hiruzen would tell them they can leave. He doesn't really care, but they have to return the Nine Tails. But that's when Hiruzen would say, Hiruzen would tell them that they can keep the Nine Tails. He doesn't really care since Sasuke wouldn't be able to handle it anyways, and since Sasuke doesn't really have the Nine Tails, they can go. As they'd ask, what does Sasuke have? As they'd say that Sasuke merely is the vessel for some of the chakra that the real host could not handle. And they would bring out Sakura, who is the actual new host of the Nine Tails. As she'd get close to Sasuke, as this orange chakra would fly out of his unconscious body. This would be the Nine Tails chakra, as it would flow back into her, as she now has both the soul and chakra of the Nine Tails. But they wouldn't care, as they'd say, well then, good, we owe your village nothing. They would all start to leave, as no one dared to go after them. And Konohamaru would have snuck into the group that was leaving. He couldn't leave before because he felt he was going to hold them back, but now he definitely could leave. And since he knows his grandfather doesn't really pay attention to him because his personal guard doesn't really, he isn't really strong. So him knowing that no one is really going to come after him, he left with him. And yeah, that's basically how everything starts. But now we see Naruto making his way back to the village. As all of the everyone would have heard that Naruto was heading back to where the ruins of the Whirlpool village were. As when they walked past a certain yellow-haired man with red eyes, they'd all freeze, but he wouldn't stop moving. He'd keep moving forward as if he's way too focused on his goal to even notice them. That's when Kakashi would spin around as he'd say, "Naruto," as Naruto would freeze. As he'd glance over his shoulder with his now red eyes, as he'd say, "Do I know you?" And then his eyes would widen as he'd say, "Kakashi, what are you doing out of the Leaf Village?" As he would go up to Naruto and hug him, Naruto would stop him with a blade at his neck. This would have came he wouldn't have revealed his gates of Babylon yet. He would have just held a dagger up to his neck, not a kunai, a dagger, as he'd ask, "Why are you out of the village with so many ninja?" As Kakashi would explain everything, and Naruto, getting the gist of it, would say that, "Oh, well, I'm planning on attacking the Leaf." As they'd ask him how and why he would do that, Naruto would say, "Leave the how and why to me. Well, you know why, but leave the how to me. I've been fixing up my village, well, my kingdom. And since I'm only cool with one other villager, not really a village, the leader of that village, well, soon to be leader of that village, I really don't have anything for you. So let's put it this way, okay? I'm gonna go to the Leaf Village. I'm gonna walk in. I'm gonna float into the air, and I'm gonna rain hell down upon them." As they would ask, "Wait, did you just say you could fly into the air?" Naruto would hover over the ground and then fly above them. As he'd do a head count, okay, a few thousand shinobi, well, a few thousand Uchiha, a few wait, is that Anko? By the way, I forgot to mention Anko resigning, but no one really cared because they didn't like her anyway, because she was the apprentice, or former apprentice of Orochimaru. As Naruto would fly down to Anko, as he'd ask her, "How's that mark on your neck feeling?" As she'd go to say it, still annoying, but he'd tap it with his fingers. As his fingers would be holding this blue aura, this being chakra. This wouldn't be just chakra, it'd be a jutsu he made. As soon as he'd tap it, it would dispel, as Orochimaru would fly out of her, but then be chopped to pieces by Naruto's dagger. As they would be shocked at how easily he had dispelled the curse mark and gotten rid of Orochimaru. As he'd ask, "Wait, isn't that Sasuke?" As he'd walk up to Sasuke, and instead of dispelling the curse mark, he'd draw out Orochimaru's soul and then completely destroy it as well. As he'd say, "There, now he can use that power freely. He just needs to be trained." He'd say, "Head back to the Whirlpool village. I fixed it up. It's no longer in shambles. We aren't staying there fully. Well, not forever. Or we can. I mean, I've built quite the place." As one second. Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is a whole new day, and you can probably tell from my tone and, the different atmosphere that's, in the background. Yeah, you see, the thing is, my family got home earlier than I thought, got here earlier than I thought, right? And so I paused it, thinking I'll just start back recording later. I hop on some Blue Lock Rivals. I'll play it every now and again. Hop on Blue Lock Rivals, right? I'm cooking it up. I set my phone down. And you see, I have this habit of when I put down my phone, I turn it off. And so it completely got rid of the, it stopped the recording. Like, well, not the recording, but the paused recording. Like, it just ended the session of it recording, right? So I was like, damn. So, yeah, this is I'm gonna have to stitch this one and the other one together. I was gonna just re-record it, but I ain't feel like it, so here we are. Now, we continue from where I left off. Almost at Midoriya. This is the
彼は本当に怪物だ。
So
奇
yeah,
跡の時代のエー
told
ス
them to keep going
青峰大
forward
輝
and that they'd see his kingdom soon. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Now, like I was saying,
さらに
Naruto would
彼はいつもの2倍の辛さ
he deems worthy of being there, and that everyone there can go live at his kingdom. They can pick whatever house they want, and he will be making his kingdom return to its former glory as the Uzumaki clan. No, his kingdom shall thrive. And he would start to walk off, but you guys aren't allowed to get into this declaration of war. I'll train you guys personally, and any of you Uchiha or anyone that came that aren't ninja will become ninja to my clan. Well, kingdom, sorry. Actually, my kingdom, I wouldn't say we're ninja, more like knights. But, I'll call you ninja. Actually, I'll figure it out later. But he'd say, but for now, I'll be back. As he'd fly off. And they would be confused, but they would head towards, Naruto's kingdom. And if I still haven't found a flick of Gilgamesh kingdom from a good side or picture, yeah, I'll just put it up on the screen if I did find it. But if I didn't, I might put a clip of a video so to show his kingdom around. Anyways, I won't be doing that now because I was looking for it legitimately before I messed up and turned off my phone after I couldn't find it. So yeah. Anyways, Naruto would arrive at the Leaf Village's gates, as the people who are usually standing there would try to tell him that he cannot enter, and they wouldn't know who he is, as he'd be wearing a hood, like he'd be wearing this like cloak that'd be covering his face to like it'd just be a cloak, it'd be covering him. They'd ask who this strange person is, and he'd look up at them with red eyes. As at first they thought it was an Uchiha, and they got on guard, but then he would clarify that he isn't an Uchiha. His eyes are just red, plus his eyes don't have tomoe, they have slits. As they'd see this, and they'd allow him in, but then ask who he was. But then they'd get stabbed in the face, like in the forehead, by golden swords that would vanish into dust. As these golden ripples would have appeared behind Naruto, only for a split second. As he'd say, the name's Naruto Uzumaki. As he'd keep walking, as he'd head towards the Hokage's office, where the Hokage and the village elders are having a meeting. Now, this meeting now, since Fugaku, because I'm gonna say he was a part of the council as well, but he didn't like put Naruto there. They didn't bring him in because they knew the Uchiha had close ties with Minato and Kushina. Even though Minato and Fugaku were rivals, they still have a close relationship with them. So they would go, like, they would be there talking about how they took a huge hit in power from losing the Uchiha and all of these other people. But that's when someone would walk in the doors, as he'd stand there and say, well, you lost a lot more power today. Well, will be losing a lot more power today. As they would ask who dares interrupt them and where are the Anbu. But that's when someone would rush in, as they'd say that all of the Anbu that is surrounding this building were killed. And this guy did it, but he would have already have been dying, as he would have had a dagger in his chest. This wouldn't be a golden one. This would have been the normal dagger Naruto was carrying. Would fall to the ground dead, as Naruto would take off his cloak and throw it at them, as they'd be confused, but Hiruzen would slap it out of the way as it got to him, but he'd see these red eyes staring back at him, but he'd know this is Naruto, as the blonde hair fit, and even though his hair wasn't spiky anymore, he could tell it was Naruto, as he'd say, "How dare you come back to this village after everything you put it through?" But Naruto would say, "I didn't do a damn thing, but I will be doing something." As when Hiruzen would try to rush him, a sword would fly past Naruto's head as he would just stand there with his arms folded, as he would just barely block this using his bow staff. But he'd go flying back as the power from this was ridiculous, as he'd go slamming into a wall, as the elders that were there would all be killed immediately by swords. So Sakura's mom and dad dead. The rest that were there, dead. And Naruto was gonna let Hiruzen live. Why? Because this is a declaration of war. As he'd stand up and he'd fly out and go to somewhere he loves very dear with his heart. He'd go to Ichiraku's ramen shop. As he'd pull up on Teuchi? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it was Teuchi. And his daughter, as he'd ask them to join him, as they'd be confused on who he was, but the daughter would instantly recognize him, as she'd call him Naruto, and the old man would be shocked as he'd ask how he's been. He'd hug Naruto, and he'd be crying as he'd apologize for not being able to hug him. But Naruto would say, "You can help me by coming to my home," as he'd hold out a hand towards both of them. And for some reason, they felt compelled to do so. Something about Naruto just felt promising. Like, he was promising them that no matter what, he could protect them. And they felt as if they knew for sure he could. And Teuchi would grab Naruto's hand, and so would his daughter. And that's when this golden summon would come from behind Naruto. This would be a gold-like dragon, as Naruto would put them on it, and it would fly out of the village towards his kingdom. As in a matter of seconds, they would arrive there. Yes, I'm gonna say that it's the way to get to there. If you're a normal ninja, it takes about 2 days. Well, from the Leaf Village, takes about 2 days. Anywhere else, it'd take about a week to a month, depending on how far away you are. And if you're a normal person, regardless, well, not regardless of distance. Sorry about that. Yeah, but like I was saying, if you're a normal person from the Leaf Village and you're trying to walk there, it would have taken you about a week. And if you're from anywhere else, it's definitely gonna take you a month. And so Naruto would then de-summon the dragon from them, as he'd fly into the air above the Leaf Village, as he'd pull out a golden megaphone and start talking, as he'd tell them that this is a declaration of war on the Leaf Village. He's surprised that more of them, a few of them decided to join him, and if any of them want to join him, they can. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, and in a week, he will be back to flatten the Leaf Village. Now, the Nara clan, which is, a big benefactor for the Leaf Village, and the Hyuga clan hearing this would be in total shock. Wait, he's
彼は本当に
that
怪
amount
物
of
だ。
chakra
奇
is
跡の時代のエース、
and
青
this
峰
would be
大
the
輝。
Hyugas, obviously. The Yamanaka clan would be there as they
Sarani.
wake up and see Naruto.
彼はいつもの2倍の辛さだ。
How much chakra it takes to fly, and how is he summoning things out of thin air? as Naruto would appear next to Shikamaru, as he'd hold out his hand to him, as he'd ask him to join him. And Shikamaru would look at his dad, but his dad would come up and say that he wants to go as well. As he'd go, like, for some reason, when Naruto held out his hand, like, he's not hypnotizing them. They just feel as if they're definitely going to be protected under Naruto. Plus, he has the Uchiha under him. Of course they're joining. So, Fugaku, I said Fugaku. What was his dad's name? Damn, it's been a while. Shikamaru's father would grab Naruto's hand and shake it, saying that he wishes to come. He wants to bring his family along. And Naruto would say it can't be done. As instead of summoning the dragon, he'd make a golden portal. They would walk into it and walk out next to Kakashi, who would be standing there, as he would be there waiting for new arrivals. Naruto told him, when he was flying past, told him to be waiting at the gates, as he'll be sending people through. And if he feels any malicious intent from them, kill them immediately. This would be tasked to Kakashi, Itachi, and Shisui. And so that's when Naruto would keep walking, as not all of the Narutos wanted to go with Naruto, and that's fine. Just Shikamaru's family was enough. He knew them anyways. He didn't care for the rest. But he would go because they can use communication jutsu from a long distance, but so could the Yamanaka clan, and that's where he would head next. He would go up to Ino, who he had no problems with really. He would ask her to come join him, and her father, waiting for her response, would say that he'll go if she'll go. And she'd say that she wants to because the way the village has been treating Naruto, it has been wrong, and she realized that, but it was already too late. She thought that he was gonna die and that she wanted to come with. She was just too scared to leave because she thought that her dad was gonna get, executed. But her father would say that he's coming with if they're going, and he would ask, do he have any trusted Yamanaka people that would be great with long distance communication? And he would tell Naruto that he does, and he knows a lot of them. And Naruto would tell him to bring them to this portal. He would make a portal in an alleyway that would be completely hidden. It would be golden, but no one can see it but the people that I'm pretty sure his name was No, I'm pretty sure. Bro, I don't remember this man's name. I can't remember their parents' names. It's been a grip since I've seen OG Naruto. Well, Shippuden even. It's been a grip, okay? But they would go and they would, obviously, like he'd go grab the ones that he said were trustworthy. Alright, I'm back. My bad. Yeah, but like I was saying, he would grab the ones that were trustworthy, as he would bring them to this portal, and then he'd tell Naruto that was it. Naruto, sensing no malicious intent from any of them, and knowing that none of them would betray him, he would, hold on one second. Sorry about that. It felt like I was finna vomit acid or some shit. Anyways, like I was saying. So, Naruto didn't feel anything from anyone, and when they would arrive to Kakashi, Itachi, and Shisui, they would also realize that they were trustworthy people because they had worked with them before. Jesus. Yeah, but like I was saying. Alright. So yeah, like I was saying, after this, they would be led into the village as well as Ino and her father. That's when Naruto would go to the final clan. This would be the, almost a Neji clan, the Hyuga clan. But he wouldn't go to the main family because he already knows they don't like him. He would go to the branch family, as he would ask any of them did they want to join him. But that's when the main family head would grab his shoulder, as he would tell Naruto to leave his domain. And Naruto would say he wasn't gonna extend his hand towards him anyways. He isn't trustworthy enough. And the guy would try to hit one of his pressure points in his arm, but that's when this golden armor would surround Naruto, as his hand would be repelled off of Naruto. As Naruto would say, this armor suit is very impenetrable. It reflects any and all external damage. Weapons can't pierce it. Your chakra and jutsu won't pierce it. And you don't have anyone strong enough to make me use it. I just wanted to show you the difference between us. As he would take it off and he'd pull out a sword, as he'd cut across his face slowly, but he wouldn't like slash him across, like not across the eyes, just on the cheek. As he'd mark him, as he'd say, next time, I won't spare your life like this. Don't forget your place, mongrel. As Naruto would turn and start walking off. Sorry about that. That mongrel came out weird as fuck. Like it sounded like my voice cracked. But yeah, he would call him a mongrel and walk off, saying that he assumes that there would be no trustworthy Hyugas that'll come with him. But that's when he'd see Hanabi, as she would yell at Naruto to return her sister, and Naruto would ask her to come to her sister, and that's when the guy would try to get away again, saying that he would not be taking Hanabi. But she would say that if her sister is going to be there, then she's going, and Naruto would tell her to come here, as he'd hold out his hand to her, and she'd hesitate as her father was running towards her, but for some reason she just felt as if she wanted to go with Naruto, and so she'd grab his hand and vanish into golden dust.
黒子の真のこと最後の切り里ワード
only to receive the multiple
ミスディレクション
swords
オーバーフロ
stabbed into
ー
his legs, as no one would have seen where they came from or what happened. It just
いやちょっと違うんです
flung at
イグナイトパス
from what looked like the top of their buildings as they stabbed into the back of his legs. By now the golden portal had vanished, and so when they got up there, no one was up there. Naruto would say that this is what happens when people disobey his orders. He said, stay away. Naruto would then head back to Hiruzen, who had been waiting angrily in the center of the village for Naruto. Naruto would say they can have their first bout, but he knows he likes to drink. As Naruto would he'd pull out 2 golden cups, as he'd say, originally he didn't want to get it dirty with his filth, but he'll let him use someone that he also knows as filthy once used. As he'd throw him a golden cup, and he'd pull out this barrel of wine, as he'd say this is some of the best wine to drink, as he'd place it down, and he'd pour himself a cupful. Hiruzen, curious but didn't want to take any risks, he would tell Naruto to drink some first if he would, and he seeing that Naruto didn't have anything wrong with him, would go and get some. Naruto would hold out his cup and would say, okay then, you accept this war, right? And Hiruzen would hold out his cup and would say, definitely. The barrel filled with wine would vanish. The two would drink their cups, and then they'd turn around throwing their cups over their shoulders. They'd start walking away, and then they'd both spin around. Naruto would draw a sword, and Hiruzen would draw his bow staff as they both rush at each other. As they'd clash in the middle, with Jonin, Chunin, and Genin all watching, Naruto matched their Hokage in strength and speed, and Naruto would be smirking arrogantly this whole time, as he would have swapped his sword for an axe and would have clashed with him multiple other times. As then all of a sudden Hiruzen would get yanked by chains and slammed into the wall. They wouldn't have known how he swapped his sword for an axe because he just spun around pulling out the axe and the sword was gone. So they just assumed there was some type of summoning, like he was like he had a summon circle. I said summoning circle. Some type of storage seal on his body that he was swapping out items with. Like he was using that. But then when Hiruzen would get grabbed by these golden chains and slammed up against the wall, and then the chains would fade into gold as the portals that were, shooting them out from would have also vanished. No one would have seen how or what happened. They just know that these golden chains were there then gone, as Naruto would come and slam down next to Hiruzen's head. As Hiruzen would freeze, as he would ask, "Why didn't you finish it?" As Naruto would say, "I just wanted to test you out, old man." He'd stand up and he'd let go of the axe as it faded into thin air. As Naruto would hold out his hand to Hiruzen, as he'd say, "That is the one and only warning shot that I'll give you. I'm only sparing your life this one time, because you kept me alive. You made me laugh before. But now that I see who you really were, and that you were only going to use me as a weapon, not anymore. But I will give you the courtesy of fighting like a man. Prepare your troops or whatever the hell. I'll be there in a week." He'd hold out his hand to Hiruzen one more time. As Hiruzen would just ask, why does he want a war? Why can't they just live in peace? And Naruto would say, "You didn't let Curvy Sage live, now did you?" As Hiruzen would say that, of course he didn't kill his student. They both know that Jiraiya got away. There is no way that he believes that Jiraiya died that day. And Naruto would say, "Enough of your lies. They said you had him decapitated in front of everyone in the village." And he would say that, of course I did, was going to, but we both know that that old fool is as slippery as the snake. And Naruto would just look at him as he'd say, "Never mind. I don't even want you to touch my hand." As he'd walk off, and he'd just fly into the air as his back would be turned towards the village, as he'd say over his shoulder that he'd see them in a week. And then Naruto would notice someone new in his village when he'd arrive. Well, his kingdom. He would see that maybe Hiruzen wasn't lying, because that's definitely Jiraiya. And if it were a clone, it would have vanished when Jiraiya died. So this has to be the real Jiraiya. And this would be true, because Jiraiya would be alive. What had been killed was someone that was pretending to be Jiraiya. You see, this guy had already wanted to die, and Jiraiya gave him a suicide mission to save someone dear to him. That's how the guy was great at medical jutsu, and that's why, he healed. That's how he healed Naruto. So that's when Naruto would start walking, and he would walk up to Jiraiya as he'd thank him for saving him. Jiraiya would say, "You should thank the man that died for you." And Naruto would say, "He's already prayed enough. He's already begged enough. He's already cried and gave his last enough. No more." He would say, "In a week, we're going to war with the Leaf, but knowing the Leaf Village and how sly that old fool is, he's definitely gonna try to make this an all-out war. He's gonna try and get as many great nations to help as possible." Which is fine. I have no doubts that I'll still win. But knowing them, they won't even interfere. They've always wanted to take over the Leaf Village. And that's fine. But if they think that they're gonna come to his kingdom and take it away from him, he'll kill them all. As he would introduce everyone that knows him, he would have them all get acquainted. Naruto would reveal his power as he'd show one of the gates of Babylon a sword with him. He'd say, "I can summon as many of these as I want, and they can shoot out as many weapons as I a wand. So I have spears that can shoot out jutsu. You would know that these are actually Jesus. He would know that this is actually magic it shoots out, but he wouldn't say this to them. He would say jutsu. He would say that I have things that can shoot out jutsu. I have these things that can shoot out other things. Like when I say I have so many weapons in here, I have an unlimited amount. Every weapon that you can think of is my weapon. I have those weapons. Any weapon that isn't in my arsenal isn't a weapon. As everyone would be confused on this, but Naruto would then pull out EA. I'm not finna try to pronounce it how EA. Nah, we gonna call it EA. As he would, like, it would just be a key at first. This would be one of the different forms of it. As he would say, there are multiple different variations of this sword, but they all do about the same thing. As he'd grab the key, and this black and red lightning would crackle into the air, and then it would circle around his blade, well, the key, until it would form EA, or the weapon he's holding in this picture that I'm gonna put up. Yeah, so, and those two pictures. Yeah, so, he would say that this weapon can do an insurmountable amount of damage, and, well, while as this one, no, I'm gonna say they're all the same. It is just one. He'd say in this mode, it can destroy, can make a huge divide in the earth for however long he wants. He'd say another version can shoot out a beam. Well, in its other form, it can shoot out a beam so powerful that it can eviscerate anything. He'd say, and another form, it can shoot out, well, a less powerful beam, but it'll still do a lot of damage. And if it hits people, it'll still eviscerate them. Just doesn't do as much damage as the latter. As he'd say that he doesn't use these weapons on regular, and he hasn't had the need to use these weapons. He would say that these chains are called Enkidu, or, well, these are the chains of my friend. Yeah, let's put it that way. This friend of mine was very powerful. Well, of my ancestors. Can't really claim him as my friend. But anyways, I have the power of one of the Uzumaki ancestors. And thanks to Jiraiya here, I was able to awaken that power. As Jiraiya would say, wait, the treasure of Gilgamesh was real. As Naruto would say, I mean, it looked like him, don't I? As Jiraiya would say, I've never seen the guy. As Naruto would say, and you never will, because we are one and the same now. So yes, I'm Gilgamesh and Naruto, but I'm always Naruto to begin with. And he'd say the reason we fused together, or well, more say he forcefully fused himself upon me, is because now I'm a demigod with unlimited chakra. He would be explaining this to everyone that now inhabits his village. As Hinata would agree with his statement, and so would Neji, as they'd say that he does have an insurmountable or unmeasurable amount of chakra. As Naruto would say, I mean, it's to be expected when you're me. He'd say that he has all of these abilities and stuff that are with him, and that even if they tried, they wouldn't be able to defeat him. He has no... My bad. He would say that he has no limit and can infinitely summon these portals. So if he wanted to, he could surround Earth completely with these portals and rain hell upon everyone. As everyone would picture this in their head, as they would be terrified to think of the power and destruction Naruto could bring upon humanity if he wanted to. Naruto would say that he has no reason to to be involved with any other nation after this unless they make themselves present in his way. That's when Naruto would tell everyone their new roles. He would tell Teuchi and his daughter that they could continue selling ramen as they want, and he'll come by every now and again. They don't have to worry about giving him any freebies anymore because he has an unlimited amount of money and gold. He has no reason. Well, what was it? Ryu? In English, what? Ryu? I'm gonna say money. We would say he has an unlimited amount of money and can now pay for all of the ramen he gets. Teuchi would say that this is a good thing and that he's glad that Naruto has finally moved up in the world. But that's when Iruka, who would be there because Naruto would have wanted to get Iruka, he isn't sure on what to think of Iruka, but for some reason he wants to trust Iruka, and Iruka is definitely not gonna betray Naruto. He is too committed to Naruto to want to betray him. And that's when Naruto would say that everything that he does from now on will be out of his own volition because he is the king, and that nothing anyone says to him anymore will have any effect upon his character. He will not change who he is, and he will not change the fact that in a week the Leaf Village will fall. No one can change his point of view on that, and if it comes out to an all-out war with every nation, he won't need them to get involved because he'll just blow up the area they're in using EA. I fucking said EA. He'd say he'd blow up the area with EA as they don't even have to get ready, but they'd all say that they're ninja and that they want to get stronger. They will get stronger, and that nobody. Hold on. Bro, that is yawning shit pissing me off. Anyways, like I was saying, he would say that they don't have to worry about getting in the way or having to fight. That's when they'd all say that they're ninja and were ninja for a reason. They aren't just gonna abandon their roles as ninja because he decided that he doesn't want them to get involved because he doesn't want them to get hurt. Naruto would say then, how about this? He would say that everybody who has a rank already will keep their current ranks. He would say that we'll keep going by the ninja ranking system. And he'd say that since the ninja ranking system is the only system that they will be going by this far, he would say that from now on, the people who are at Genin level, who are at Genin to Chunin level, will begin training with the Jonins from today on. And then after, he will give them a little test. They will see and show off how powerful they have gotten against him. Well, not in a week, in 6 days. Yeah, because a week is 7. So, he'd say that in 6 days, I will see how far everyone has came, and then after, you will take a rest, and then get ready to go at arms with the Leaf Village. And they would all nod as Naruto would then summon these golden headbands. Well, these headbands, that the thing is metal, like it'd still be metal. No, I'm gonna say it's golden. Yeah, it's golden with the Uzumaki swirl on it. As the headbands would be black, like the cloth part would be black. As Naruto would summon all of these headbands, and he'd say that the higher rank you are, the different colors you have. Jonin will have, alright. So, Sanin, which is just Jiraiya, have black, but eventually Tsunade is gonna come too, don't worry. So Jiraiya has black. That is the highest ranking that someone will have besides Naruto, whose is all gold. His cloth is gold and his headband, which he doesn't wear, would be gold, but he wouldn't even wear a headband. He wouldn't need to. Naruto would be wearing his own King Alf. Well, Gilgamesh is King Alf. I'm about to go get a picture of it and put it up right there. There we go. Now, Gilgamesh would be, I said Gilgamesh. Naruto would be wearing that fit, as that's his Kage fit, right? That's the fit he's gonna fight in and everything. That is his Kage. Then that's when the Sani have black. The Jonin, like high Jonin, well, any level of Jonin, have high Jonin and then normal Jonin. So high Jonin will have a dark purple, and then normal Jonin will have light purple. That's when high Chunin, which is like Neji, Shikamaru, well, yeah, stuff, people like that, Sasuke, they would have dark blue, and then normal Chunin, so like other people from clans that aren't at high Chunin level, they would have normal, like light blue, not light blue, but like normal blue. And then that's when Genin would have light blue. He would tell them to begin their training now, and that they have a few days to get stronger. And Naruto would say that he's finna go get his auntie. As Jiraiya would say that he's coming with, since he doesn't want to train anyone. But Naruto would say that actually he wants him to train his student for a bit. As Konohamaru would step next to Naruto, as he'd say that I've already taught him the Rasengan, so, well, some of it. He also has a few of my other jutsu I taught him from back in the day, so he's pretty strong. And Konohamaru would say that his friends were left in the village and he wants Naruto to go get them. Naruto would say that he will, and he'll be back. Naruto would vanish and appear in the Leaf Village, as he'd be inside the classroom of the students. They would be training them differently from how they were training Naruto and his classmates, where they were learning from textbooks and stuff. They would be training them how to fight now, because they're about to go to war. They need every ninja they can, since the Uchiha are gone. Some of the Nara clan is gone. Some of the two prodigies of, well, a prodigy from the Hyuga clan is gone, and then two other Hyugas are also gone. All of the Uchihas are gone. Some of the Nara and some of the Yamanaka clan are gone. They don't have many ninja left, and they're gonna need all hands on deck. 1 second. Alright, so like I was saying, Jesus, this is annoying. Alright. Alright, I'm good. Now, like I was saying, after this, Naruto would approach Konohamaru's two friends, as they would see him and call him Big Brother Naruto, as this would put everyone on guard. As Naruto would hold out his hands to them and tell them to come on, Konohamaru is waiting. And when they grab him, when they grab his hand, Naruto would sense something aimed at, like, on these children. So he'd jump away, but snatch them as well. As he would have ripped their clothes off, as there would be seals on their clothes that would explode, as they wouldn't be naked. Like, he'd rip the part that had the seal on it off of, like, it'd be on their back. He'd rip it off. And he'd cover them with the cloak that he wore when he first got there. As he'd tell them to go through that portal. He'd open a small enough portal that only they could fit through it, and they would. They would have no more seals on them, and Naruto made sure of it this time. He was pissed. You were gonna use children. You were gonna kill children to try and kill me? And the two kids, when they got to Naruto's village, because instantly, they would be next to Jiraiya, and they would tell him that they had booby-trapped them, and they are worried for Naruto. 1 second. Alright, I'm good. Now, like I was saying, after this, they would continue to tell Jiraiya this, and Jiraiya would say that the Leaf Village already started trying to kill Naruto off. But then they'd ask why Naruto hasn't come back. And Naruto would return with a bloody sword. as he would be completely fine. He wouldn't even have to wear. He wouldn't even have to use his armor. He just killed the instructors that booby trapped those children because they knew they were close to Konohamaru, and with Konohamaru being with Naruto, they knew Naruto would return to get Konohamaru's strength. So they made seals to kill Naruto if he touched the children. They didn't expect him to grab their, like, hold their hands. That's why they tried to stop him from doing so. And because they were going to use the seals from a distance to try and kill as many people as they could. This was a powerful explosion. It took multiple senseis to put together this one seal. So it was powerful, but it was only two senseis and the rest that heard the explosion were pretty far away, so they were training their children at different spots. This class was the only one that was in, like, at the school, and the two senseis that were there to attack, well, obviously they got murked. The students were afraid, as Naruto would tell them that they have no worries since he doesn't plan on killing their kids. But they would yell at him to leave the village already. He's nothing but a stupid demon, and that he shouldn't have even came back to the village. But Naruto would say that the only demon that's here is the one that's coming. As Sakura in the one-tailed state would rush at Naruto. You see, they put Kurama under a genjutsu that he could not break out of for some reason. And now he obeys Sakura fully, and she can just fully access his chakra. She can't go up to the, tail beast states. I mean, not the, to the KCM states, so like Kurama chakra mode. She can't go up to those, but she can control all the way from 1 to 4 tails perfect. And the rest, the chakra is just too strong, and she cannot handle it without someone being there to help her out. Like, they have people that suppresses the Nine Tails urges, and the more she uses its chakra, the more it, like the Nine Tails is like goes deeper into the genjutsu. And so Naruto, since in Sakura, he would have said that she was the real demon, and she would have swung at him now in 4-tailed state, as she would have missed because Naruto just simply moved his head, and then he would have jumped over the tails, as she would have slammed at the children, but Naruto would have summoned a blade that would block it. And the child would be surprised that Naruto is like helping them. Naruto would keep holding out his hand as multiple blades would fly at the tails, pinning them, as she turned around to receive a stab wound to the gut. As she would be surprised because blades can't pierce the Nine Tails 4-tailed state, when he's like in the red state, like when his skin turns fully red and it's like blood and chakra. So yeah, that normal blades can't pierce through that. So she would be shocked to see Naruto just easily stab through her. And then Naruto, when he did this, it would have also hurt Kurama, who would, like, from the pain, be jolted from his genjutsu. As Naruto would seal, like, he would reverse seal the Nine Tails from off of Sakura onto his blade. As he then pull out the blade and bitch slap her to the center of the city. As he'd start leaving, saying that he has no care for this village anymore. He has his companion back, and that he will not allow for them to try and do anything as stupid as this again. He would slam his blade down into the ground, and as if a tailed beast bomb had went off, an explosion of a miniature tailed beast-sized bomb would go off as it blow up that district, the explosion would go up towards Sakura, and she would be engulfed in these flames. You see, I don't hate Sakura personally, but yeah, this is just a story. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if this was under different circumstances, I wouldn't have done this. But yeah, I don't hate Sakura. I just dislike her. So yeah, Naruto would leave as he would then summon the Nine Tails out of the sword, as the Nine Tails would roar, as Naruto would jump up and palm his face, like right, like, you know how dogs, cats, like their nose is below their eyes. He palm right between its eyes, placing a hand there, as he would rip the genjutsu forcefully off of him and crush it. As the Nine Tails would look around and it'd see the village that once, like it was like it'd see the whirlpool symbol, as it would assume that it was like he went back in time or something, as he'd slam his paw down towards it, not wanting to be sealed away again. But Naruto would stop it with a singular hand. As Kurama would be shocked, as Naruto would say, "You do not raise your hand to attack my kingdom. I don't care if you're my friend. I will end you here." As he'd slam Kurama outside of his village, where everyone would see this, as they'd all be standing, like they'd jump out of the village to go see what was going on, as they'd see the Nine Tails roar and Naruto floating above it. As he'd summon EA, and he would aim it towards the Nine Tails, as he'd put it on the lowest output, and he'd yell, "Enema Elish." I'm not gonna try to pronounce it in the Japanese way. I mean, I can, don't get me wrong. I can pronounce it Japanese-ish. I'm just not gonna do it. Why? Because, you see, when I get bored, I say things as if I'm trying to voice act, and I'm not gonna try to do that. So, yeah, he'd yell the name as he pointed at Kurama, who would send out a tailed beast bomb, as the two would clash. And Kurama would remember this from somewhere, as if he had fought against this person before. As the beam and the ball would clash, as a huge explosion would go off that would knock back Kurama, and Naruto would have to activate his armor suit. As it would be like the attack, like the explosion would be completely canceled out by his armor suit. Naruto would then appear next to Kurama and place his sword into it, like against its forehead, as it starts spinning. And Naruto would say, "Do you remember me?" As it would call him Gilgamesh, but he'd say, "My name is Naruto." As Kurama would be in shock, as he'd stop, and Naruto would say, "Well, since that's right." He'd put up EA, as he'd look into Kurama's eye, as he'd say, "Well, now that you've calmed down, welcome to my village. Well, my kingdom. I want you to be our guard dog. I want you to protect this village with your life. Well, kingdom with your life. Can you handle that?" Kurama would say, "Of course." He'd say that as long as he ain't gotta be sealed again, he cool. Like him and Naruto, they could be as cool as they want. As long as he ain't gotta be sealed inside a person again, he's cool with it. Naruto would say, "Of course I'm not gonna seal you away, but I will be asking you to find a more suitable form." As Kurama would turn into this guy with orange hair, as he'd look at himself and say that he hasn't been in his human form in a while. His nails would be pretty sharp. He'd still have fangs, and his eyes would still be red with slits in it. As he would call Naruto his cousin or his kin, Naruto would say that he isn't like Kitsune, so that doesn't work for him. But since he is a demigod now, I guess he can call him his brother. As they'd hold out each other's hands and shake it, as he'd say that he's glad to have Kurama at his side again. Kurama would say that they may not have been on the best terms, but he plans to turn that around soon, since he actually respects Naruto's hard work and ethic. Even though he was fucking around with Naruto Chakra back in the day, Naruto worked hella hard, and the only reason he wasn't helping Naruto is because Naruto was too hungry. Like, seeing Naruto now, he knows they'll get along. As he'd ask Naruto, is he really going through with destroying the Leaf Village? And Naruto would say, didn't you want to destroy the Leaf Village? As that's when it would, like, Naruto already knew that someone placed it under a Genjutsu before, and it'd say that Madara did something to it. And Naruto would say that he has a feeling that that wasn't Madara, but yeah, he knows. He was there, remember? as he'd say, you know, you kind of killed my parents. As Kurama would say, yeah, sorry about that. Kind of mad. And Naruto would say, I mean, I'd be mad too if I'm about to be sealed in an infant. And the two would just talk with each other, and Naruto would say, yeah, but you'll be guarding this village when I'm not here. And even when I am here, you will be protecting the village. Unless the enemy is too sorry. My bad. I almost said something stupid. If the enemy does happen to somehow be strong enough to defeat you, I want you to risk your life for this village. And Kurama would say, I do it in every life I have. Naruto would say, well, we're going to be alive a long time. I can't say the same for these guys, but I'll be the king of this place for as long as I live. And since I'm assuming I'm going to live a long time. And Kurama would say that he assumes so too, since he's now a demigod, unless he's somehow killed. And they'd look at each other and start laughing, since, you know, yeah, these are mortal bastards. I'm pretty sure Gilgamesh was not immortal, but yeah, these two immortal bastards would be laughing because humans have such weak and will die after a while. Naruto would say that, and then after, well, everything is said and done, then what? But then all of a sudden, Kurama would say that he has something that, or someone he wants him to meet. Kurama would grab Naruto's head with his hand, as Naruto would, like, his mind would go blank. His eyes would also go blank, as they'd be pure white. As Naruto would see the Sage of Six Paths, as he would look at Naruto, as he'd say that somehow he destroyed his path. Naruto would be confused, as he'd look back, as he'd have both Indra and Ashura behind him. As originally, the Sage of Six Paths would say that it was supposed to be him and Sasuke, but something along his path changed. He doesn't know if it was fate or some other god playing with his destiny, but he was not supposed to end up like this. If anything, Sasuke was supposed to end up going down the wrong path, and you were supposed to try and fix that, but now it seems that you're both on the right path, but on the wrong path as well. Naruto would say, my path isn't wrong, but it isn't right either. That's why I'm against both good and evil. But I will always treat my people good. None of them shall suffer the way I had to suffer. None of them will ever go through the pain and torment I did. As Naruto would stop speaking, as he apologized and bowed to the Sage of Six Paths, saying that as a fellow god, well, he can't really call himself a god since he's only a demigod, but as a fellow, well, immortal, he's glad that he at least has someone that would have believed in him. And he'd say that it'd be better for him to give these cycles to Sasuke, as he'd say that he's already too powerful. Plus, Indra has the Sharingan. I mean, Ashura technically did too, but he'd say it benefits Sasuke to give him, give both of them to him, since they both are Uchiha, and Sasuke would benefit a lot by having both of their powers when he finally awakens. And the Sage of Six Paths would say that that isn't possible because they choose who they want. But the two would look at Naruto, as Naruto would bow and ask them to kindly, as he'd say, wait, you said that two can't go to a person, right? And he'd say, yeah. As he'd say, then give Indra to Sasuke and Ashura to Konohamaru. As the Sage of Six Paths would be confused on why Naruto is just giving up this power, as Naruto would say, I'm already too powerful, and giving me more power would bring more destruction to people than it would do good. Sure, at the end of the day, I still would be more powerful than the two and anyone I come across, sure, but you see, the thing is, when it comes down to me, I'm not the same as Sasuke and Konohamaru. Konohamaru is a pure and joyful kid. Sure, he's finna go through his first war scenes, but with the power boost you're saying that they'll gain, they both will reach a level that isn't, plausible or possible for normal people. Or you could give them to Itachi and Shisu. They both have contradicting attitudes.
彼は本当に怪物
Are
だ
a great duo.
奇跡
Itachi
の
would
時
fit
代のエー
great
ス
for Indra.
青峰大輝
Shisu would fit great for Ashura, but I feel as if Sasuke and Konohamaru would fit these roles a lot better. And the two would look at Naruto and then their father, who would nod, saying that they can choose who they want. They would go over, Indra would go to Sasuke and Ashura would go to Naruto, to Konohamaru. As Naruto would bow thanking them and say that he appreciates them for making his village.
彼はいつもの
He
2
would
倍
awaken
の辛さだ
in his bed as he'd stand up and say that, well, that was an interesting fact. As he hears from outside that Sasuke suddenly passed out, and then so would Konohamaru. As they'd be confused on why they suddenly passed out, but Naruto would say it's fine, just take them to their beds, they should not train today, and he'll be back. He'd tell Kurama to take care of his village while he's away. And Kurama would say that he would. Naruto would vanish, and he'd appear at the last place that people spoke about seeing Tsunade. As he'd enter a bar, as he'd hear someone that he's never heard before, but he for some reason feels as if this person is very, very familiar to him. So he would enter and hear someone go, "Lady Tsunade, that is way too much alcohol." And he'd say, "Well, I guess I found the place I'm supposed to be at." Naruto would walk into the bar and walk up to this table as he'd be holding this golden cup and drinking wine. As he'd slide it over to Tsunade, who would be confused, but she'd drink it and say that this is the sweetest and most... Wait, who made this? Who are you? As Naruto would say, it's a shame you don't remember your own, nephew, but I'll call you grandma. She'd get mad at this comment and swing at him, but he'd stop this with a finger and tell her that she shouldn't get so aggressive towards her. And Tsunade would say that she isn't here to play around. Nephew? What nephew? As Naruto would say, well, I am the son of Minato and Kushina. The name's Naruto. She'd be shocked as she'd look at him and go, "Naruto? You are Naruto? And you look like that?" As Naruto would say, "Yeah, just recently I started looking like this. Why is that such a problem?" As Shizune would ask, how is he alive and how is he in such good shape? Like I said, Naruto doesn't look as if he was on death's bed a couple of days ago, but Naruto would say that obviously since he became stronger, or as you can see, stronger, he isn't too worried about my bad. He would say that he isn't too worried about going sick or anything. He is a demigod. As they'd be shocked. No one else is paying attention to this conversation, so they'd be asking Naruto all of these questions, which he would keep answering. And then eventually Tsunade would say, "So, what happened to Jiraiya's body?" And Naruto would say, "Well, his body is in my kingdom. He's currently training Konohamaru." As she'd spit out the wine that she was still drinking, as Naruto would say, "Hey, that's disrespectful. That wine is delicious." As she'd apologize and say that she didn't mean to, and she just heard that Jiraiya was dead, so there is no way that he's still there. But Naruto would say that was a double. This guy decided to give up his life for, Jiraiya, because he owed Jiraiya a favor, And the guy already didn't want to live. He was a criminal that Jiraiya saved. And when he asked the guy to go on a suicide mission to save him, the guy would say that, since he's got death in the, since he might as well, since he already wants to die, he might as well. And so he would have transformed into Jiraiya and then got his head cut off. Yeah, and he saved me in the process. I went to the Whirlpool Village and made it my kingdom. As she'd say, it seems like you're skipping something. And Naruto would say, I am, but I won't reveal my secret in front of all these potential, threats. As he'd say, so, you coming? As he'd hold out his hand to her, and she'd grab it as the golden cup would vanish after she finished drinking from it. Shizune would also grab his hand, saying that she's going anywhere that Lady Tsunade is going, and they'd vanish. As the guy would say that they didn't pay for their tab, and the people in there would start laughing and say, well, that's the legendary sucker for you. And, they keep, laughing and shit. But that's when the guy would make them pay up for her, and they'd start to curse her. But then again, they didn't know who the kid was that just randomly popped in, and he was also gone. So they'd assumed that he did a drink and dash as well, but he was too young to drink, so a dine and dash. They thought he got food and then ran off. And so, yeah, Naruto would appear back in his village as he'd have Tsunade teaching Shizune and because she was already teaching Shizune, but she would have her teach Hinata and Ino how to use her healing jutsu and how to reinforce their punches with chakra. And so by the 6th day, everyone that were low Jonin level were now at mid Jonin level. Anyone that was at high Chunin level were now at low Jonin level, or at normal Jonin level. Anyone that was at high Chunin level. Anyone at low Chunin level was at high Chunin level. Why? Because and anyone that was at Genin level was now at at mid Chunin level. Yeah. 1 second. All right. Yeah, but I'm gonna end this part off here. Don't worry, I'm about to start recording the next part right now, so you're not gonna miss out on much. Sure, I could have left it off on a better spot, but hey, all I gotta say is that I'm not the best at cliffhangers, but you gonna eat this cliffhanger because I'm leaving this part off here. Anyways, goodbye.